Hi, my name's Craig Webb. I love guitar, I love improvisation, and I love the study of harmony. I've been lucky enough for about 23 years now to teach students in schools and colleges, but I wanted to find a way of reaching other people, and I thought this video might be a nice introduction as to why I think the study of harmony is such a cool thing, such a cool endeavour. When we play music, we're not just musicians, we are, of course, students, and we can be influenced by our culture, our peers, the music we listen to, and our studies. When it comes to improvising, we might extemporize on a melody, play using our ear, use patterns on a fingerboard, or maybe study the construction of the music more deeply. So I'd like to just demonstrate the different sounds that we can get and how understanding harmony can get us there just a little bit quicker. So I'm going to begin with a G7 chord. Some people call it a dominant seventh chord. It's a major chord with a flattened seventh on it. So there it is ringing on for us. Now, of course, we can play, here's my G string, cut it in half, it's still a G, and I've got 12 semitones in between. And they can all be used. Some of them will sound stronger than others. The four strongest ones are the notes of the chord. G, B, D, F, G, B, D, F. And then there are three other notes that sound pretty strong, and then five that create a little more tension. What we might call the parent scale of a dominant seventh chord is a Mixolydian mode or a dominant scale. We don't need to worry right now about how we arrive at that. That comes later. But let's just have a little listen to it. So four of those notes are in the chord and they sound pretty strong. Some of them have a little bit of a tension in them. This one here, the fourth note of the scale, can you hear that tension? It's asking to be resolved to that note from the fourth to the third. It could resolve up from the fourth to the fifth, but it's closer to that third. I think it's pulling that way a little more. Now then, if I wanted to avoid that note, I could use a 5-note scale. I'll avoid that note there, and I'll take out the seventh, and I'll arrive at this. A 5-note scale. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So that's the major pentatonic scale. Sounds pretty. Very pretty. There's another 5-note scale we could use called the minor pentatonic scale. Starts off with a root, strong note, but now we got some real tension. Here's a minor third against the major third of the chord. So often you'll hear blues guitarists stretch the string, bend the note, so it goes sharp towards the major third. Now if we add in a further note, a flattened fifth, we get the blues scale. And then of course that's 6 notes, we've got the Mixolydian, that's 7 notes, add in the other notes, and we have a chromatic scale. If we played a line and ended on a note of the chord, then any temporary tension in that chromatic scale is okay, because we've resolved it. If I were to finish my phrase, my sentence, on a weaker note, there's a lot of tension there, isn't there? So moving up, notes of the chord again. Finishing our sentences with strong notes help to punctuate. Commas, full stops, question marks. Do you know what I mean? Of course you do! Exclamation mark. Whereas finishing on a weaker note, it's a little bit like if I said, do you want a cup of tea? You're still waiting for more information, aren't you? It's just a little bit incomplete. Notes of the chord, of course, are great notes to finish on. We can create tension above a note, a chord tone, below a chord tone. People do this a lot. They call it an enclosure. And when you're playing, you don't have to think one way or the other. You can combine them all and you can move fluidly. But if you wanted to create a particular flavour, say you wanted something sweet and poppy, major pentatonic really works. You want something a little bit more rootsy and bluesy. If you want something a little bit more jazzy, a little bit more chromatic. So hopefully I've enticed you to press play on one of my other videos. I think I'm going to begin with a discussion of the major modal system, understanding key signatures, how to assess at any one time what would be the strongest notes. So sometimes a chord can be complex enough to give us all that information, and sometimes we need more than one chord to build up a picture of what the strongest notes would be. Of course, all notes are valid, and whatever method you use to play is valid. You've got to enjoy your playing, and don't forget about your audience. Yeah, take care of them. Make sure that in your playing, you've got something for them to hold on to. Don't go off on too much of a flight of fancy. You might lose them. So, hopefully that's enough to get you enticed. Maybe see you on the internet. Au revoir. Dos vidania. Auf Wiedersehen. Sayonara. Hwyl fawr.